Road to Vostok hit early access earlier this week. I've been playing it, and I've been having a pretty great time.
Näin se kauppa käy, niin on.
Alright, so Road to Vostok is a hardcore survival shooter that is really doing some different things. So far, I feel like it takes a lot of micro characteristics from other games in a good way and makes this mod podge of a pretty unique experience. You start off in your little cabin base and choose to leave into an evolving conflict landscape that is a border zone between Finland and Russia. If you die out in the world, you lose your things, but you respawn in your base where you can stock up on supplies. If you make it all the way to Vostok, however, it is a permadeath if you die. This game is very early access, so this is not a review by any means, and just my experience so far. I've barely touched the surface of this game, but I've been playing it intermittently this week and have a lot of thoughts. Now, to be straight up with you, this game is hardcore and it is early access, which of course means it's designed to be hard and sometimes even harder because there's tweaking needed. I'm gonna just get my big negative out of the way before I get into the copious amounts of positives, which is the enemy's intelligence. The enemies can be pretty frustrating, especially if you aren't being careful. You die or get severely injured in this game pretty quick, which of course is by design, but there are a lot of moments where I would just get lit up from a pretty insane distance. The bandits that run around are really accurate to a fault in moments. They also have odd reactivity and detect you like a magnet. Sometimes a shot would get taken at me, and then I just never see or run into anybody. Or sometimes I would see a bandit, engage in combat with them, and they would run into a building's corner and just stand there not reacting at all. I would say they definitely need some tweaking. Now, all that to say, so far I've died twice, and both times the combat at the very least was passable. The first guy did detect me when I thought I was being stealthy, but I saw him from afar and approached him for combat. So if you are being careful, you can mostly get by fine. Both deaths I engaged in the combat myself, so even in the times where pop shots get taken at you like in a almost ambush like way, as long as you play your cards right, you got a chance of getting away. When you die, outside of Vostok, you respawn in your base. There are other bases you can unlock through tasks, which is one major thing in early access that wasn't in the demo. I played a lot of the demo, which was a limited experience only in the first zone, the village. Added in early access is the task system, which you can do for traders. So far, I have two traders, the generalist and the doctor. The traders only use a barter system, so there is no currency in the game. This makes trading a pretty fun little mini game, as you gotta figure out what can get you the furthest, as you almost always take a little bit of a loss because it's so hard to get to the exact amount. When you do the task for the traders, they lower their tax, which is definitely helpful in the long run. In addition, they reward you with items which increase in rarity, and sometimes are pretty crucial items like the map or furniture. Speaking of furniture, in the bases, you can customize your furniture via your catalog or what is already in there. You can place stuff anywhere. I really love the place mechanic and makes it a very fun little customizable experience to make your home feel really like your home. Another thing that wasn't in the demo was the events that unravel as the days pass. I really love this feature. It gives you a good idea of what is to come, some extra lore, and just evolves the environment. Some of it is just lore ambience, like fighter jets flying over to the war zone, and some of it changes your world experience, like adding traders and boss bandits roaming around. Before I had the map, this was the only way that I figured out there are more zones. I knew there had to be more to the map, but I was feeling crippled by the fear of losing my stuff to bandits. On day 3, however, it told me that a doctor trader was available at the school, which I had yet to see a school in the village, so I geared up and headed out to find it. That's when I realized the school was its own zone and I found the doctor.
Onkos meillä kipuja taas?
I was trying to find coffee filters to get the map from the generalist when I had my first death. I looted the entire village, not found any, so I thought I'd go to the school, but then found another zone, the highway. I loaded in, but it was early morning and dark, so I was being careful and slow. The sun started rising, and I began to pick up the pace when I saw a bandit running around this gas station. I tried to stealthily approach, but he did end up seeing me. We exchanged fire till I got this cheeky little angle under this trailer and got him. I then realized I had a fracture, which listed a splint as a fix. I somehow had the resources to craft an improvised splint in my inventory and put it on. It sadly ended up not doing anything. I'm not sure if this was a bug or if it was because it was an improvised, so there was a chance it didn't work. Hardcore survival games like to do this thing, like in DayZ, sometimes medication doesn't take when you are sick because there's a slight chance in its work rate. I was bummed to die this way, but this actually led me to a new turning point in my experience. I knew I had to do some work as I was sort of starting over, minus my stash items, and saw the bandit boss was coming my way the next day in my events. On a mission to loot what I had lost, I had very good luck right off the bat. In the first house I looted, I actually found a map. Now looking at the map, I had an idea of what I had seen and what I could still explore. This also set in that I hadn't seen as much as I thought, and I was still a bit away from Vostok. I kind of had a panic moment thinking that I was playing wrong. I've been venturing out little by little, returning to base and doing tasks, but now I felt like I should be going as far as I could each time. With this in mind, I geared up in the village as much as I could, finding valued loot and bartering with the generalist a couple of times, and then setting out for new lands. My goal was the outpost, as I thought maybe that would be some sort of NPC occupied town or something. I really didn't know what to expect, but that was my best guess. I made it to the school and traded with the doctor. I also got into some hairy combat that humbled me a little bit. Oh my god. Whew. Barely making it out, I continued on my way. I found the next zone, which was, to my surprise, Outpost. I thought there would be another stop, but it was just on the other side of the school. Having traded a lot of finds for meds, I felt like I could take on whatever was in Outpost. I was quickly met with combat running into a lot of bandits. I was feeling confident in my combat abilities at this point and downing bandit after bandit. That confidence soon fled me once I took a shot to the skull. It listed a couple of fixes which I didn't have. I once again had to just sit with the fact that I was going to lose health till I died. Man, this game is brutal, but I'm loving my time so far. This game has no specific way to play, and it gives you a lot of options in your approach. You can also choose to play in winter mode and then eventually a seasonal mode, which I'm really looking forward to. I love the idea of playing and then the season just changes. I was just playing in summer just to get for a feel of everything. You want to just chill out in the village side and mod out your little cabin hoarding cans of tomatoes and AKs, you can do that. You want to try and see how far you can get to Vostok, hoping to find the right meds and not take a bullet to the skull, then you can also do that. Looking at my events, I'm really excited for what is to come. Some stuff like helicopter crash sites and traders leaving really intrigues me. Speaking of what is to come, if you're interested in this game and not sure if it's worth investing in, you should check out the roadmap for this game. There's a lot of major updates planned, and it seems like the game will change a lot over time. With a game like this, I feel like it's worth getting into now, as it's currently on sale on Steam for $14.99 US, and looks like it'll retail at $19.99. Down the road, its price may increase as stuff is added, and there are a couple of games I'm glad I got grandfathered into. I mean, I've owned DayZ for more than 10 years now, and what a game that has become. If you do like those realistic Eastern European games like DayZ, Stalker, or even Tarkov, then I will say this game is definitely made for you and worth checking out. Like I said before, there definitely needs to be some tweaks to the enemies and some other small things, but this game just came out in early access, so you know the deal with that. Anyways, yeah, I've really enjoyed my time in this game so far, and I'm curious, are you already playing this? Are you on the fence about it? Let me know in the comments how you feel. That's all this time. I'm Slowco. I upload once a weekend right now. A like and subscribe really helps. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Näin se kauppa käy. Kiitos.